Well, at the time of recording last night was Halloween. How was your Halloween?
That was pretty good.
Yeah, you got some little ones. You dressed them up and took them out, and
Yeah, had a little bear, and my daughter went as a kind of werewolf.
right.
She's been big into this movie called Zombies.
Okay.
But it's not what you think.
So that's the Disney Plus one?
Yeah, it's like High School Musical, but with zombies.
Yeah.
And this weird kind of segregation storyline because zombies are sentient and have emotions and intelligence.
See, those are the best gifts. Those are the best costumes because there's no, like, you're not just going to go to Walmart and pick up a prepackaged costume for this character. So this is like,
yeah,
try to craft one together.
Back in the fall back in the spring when she kind of started getting into this movie, there's like 4 of them out now, 3 of them. Anyway, she went over to her grandma's house and they sewed up like some like a fur vest and fur for her, like bracelets and anklets and a fake tail and
that's cool.
And little ears.
That's cool.
So yeah, she kind of wore all those and
yeah, cool.
And I got as close as possible to one of the werewolf characters.
Yeah,
but
see, that's fun, man.
That's cool. Yeah, she looked great.
All I did last night was eat a lot of junk food. I watched a scary movie. And well, not really. It's not, it's like an 80s horror slasher film, so it's not scary, it's more campy and cheesy than anything else.
Right. What scary movie did you watch?
It was Friday the 13th part 6.
Right. Okay.
Freddy Lives, or Jason Lives, I mean. Would have been better if it was Freddy. Yeah, we've been watching through the Friday the 13th movies. Right. And yeah, I mean, out of all the ones I've watched, like Halloween and Nightmare on Elm Street and Scream and, whatever, Child's Play, like whatever else, I think Friday the 13th is my least favorite. It's just...
Yeah, it's
just uneventful.
I'm not big into the horror or slasher stuff. I like it if it's a little more campy or if it's a little more
it's just there's no... I think the drawback for me is there's none of the people he's murdering ever put up a fight.
They just keep running away.
He always kills them. He always catches them off guard. So it's literally just 90 minutes of horny teenagers taking their clothes off and then getting murdered. And you can the second, and it becomes so predictable, like 6 films in, like the second you see a woman's nipples, you're like, oh, well, she's dead.
That's funny.
She got naked. They're having sex?
They're
having sex in the woods?
That's what he's all about. Killing. I have no idea. I've never seen any of them.
Yeah, no. But
Emily and I watched, on the Saturday night, we watched a Halloween-ish movie.
Right.
We watched Netflix's Day Shift with Jamie Foxx.
Yeah. Was it good?
It was actually, it was a lot of fun. It had some kind of campy moments, but it was really
cool.
It was a pretty cool vampire slaying thing. Right near the very end, there was a few things that happened where I was like, what? Well, I mean, they kind of alluded to this a little bit in the lore, but I mean, It would have been better if they set it up more. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. No, we did that, and then we made a big old bowl of Halloween. I don't know. Would you party punch? Jungle juice, jungle punch.
Oh, alcoholic.
Yeah. Very.
Oh.
Very. So I'm talking like a bowl that you would put popcorn in, right? So not even like a full-sized party bowl or like a full-size punch bowl. And this thing had This thing had orange juice, Sprite, which is like, the foundation of any good like party punch, whatever.
Yep.
About 3/4 of a 1.14 liter vodka. So a lot of vodka. About half a 750 of gin. Some grenadine. Was there rum in it? I don't remember. And then when sliced up some grapefruit real nice, and had like the grapefruit slices kind of floating in it.
Mm-hmm.
Put an entire thing of green food coloring in it. This thing was like,
you guys just
couple drops.
Sounds like you threw this kitchen sink at it.
Yeah, a couple drops probably would have done it, but it was like, yeah. and then I ripped open a bag of gummy worms and tossed the gummy worms in. Yeah,
and it was just good. The two of you.
We had her siblings.
Oh yeah, a bit of a party
over. Yeah, and it was good. Brianne and I. So out of the four of us, neither Brianne or I threw up, and neither of us are nursing a hangover today. We can't say the same for the other two. Oh, it was a rough night.
A little overboard.
It was a rough night, but oh well. Listen, hello and welcome to the Movie Men podcast.
The B team.
Yeah, that's Carl, and I am.
You're Brady.
Right. Yes, it was a late night, and
normally you introduce yourself, but I introduce myself. But I think you introducing me threw you off there.
You scratch my back, I scratch yours.
Yeah, there we go.
And welcome to our weekly news show. Every week there are so many things that happen in the world of movies and movie news and show news and all that jazz. And we take
this past week was no different.
It was no different. We took a handful of things that interest us and decided to talk about them. And I feel like that's an important disclaimer because, as I've said, I think it was last week, I said, I get it. There's a lot of things happening. So-and-so and so-and-so broke up. Okay, great.
We're not going to talk about breakups or babies.
Yeah, we don't care. I mean, maybe we will if it's like I feel like we would talk if Emily Blunt and John Krasinski split. I feel like we would talk about that.
Well, I mean, you might. I still wouldn't care. My response would be, okay, whatever.
Shit happens. Yeah.
It happens more often in Hollywood, it seems like. Whatever.
Yeah. Okay, so without further ado, let's pop into it. There is a new Star Wars film coming.
Is there?
There is. Which, no. And this is like, this seems, at this point, this is a little bit more... We got some stuff to go on here. And this is exciting because Star Wars has kind of felt like, not like in a weird limbo, but like, I don't know, personally for a while now, I've been thinking like, where are we at with Star Wars? What is happening?
Well, in terms of the cinema, it seems like nowhere.
So we have Mandalorian. And we have Book of Boba Fett, and we have Andor now. And some people are going to disagree with this, and that's fine. You can disagree all you want. Those are like some great TV series, right? Star Wars is a film franchise. It is a cinematic franchise. At its core, at its heart, the main installments in Star Wars are always going to be their movie theater experiences, because there's nothing like sitting down in a theater to watch the new Star Wars film, which is an experience. I love watching Andor week to week, but it's not like an event. It's not a spectacle. It's not this big. I don't sit down and get goosebumps as the logo comes up across the screen, right? So I'm excited because, and we literally have very little details, but it does seem like a Star Wars film is coming, which excites me. But how do you feel about this, sir?
So I think I agree and I disagree with you about your statement about like Star Wars being a cinematic experience primarily, in the same way that Marvel is primarily a cinematic experience, but they still have a lot of other properties, right? Like,
but it's still more exciting to go see it in the
TV
theater.
shows, even without the MCU TV shows.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree. Like the best experience are the movies, with the caveat that the prequel trilogy, Disney trilogy, is crap. But aside from that, yeah, like the movies are the thing that people really want to see when they're done right. Yeah, I'm guessing. I read an article somewhere, and maybe this is news to you. Maybe you didn't see this, but I read an article. Some guy was talking about that he had an inside source that was telling the Star Wars higher ups, I'm not sure who, I assume Kathleen Kennedy or whoever, to stop announcing Star Wars movies.
Yeah, did you
because
read
there's
all
been
of
a lot of
today's
Star
show
Wars
notes?
movies since episode 9, and all of them have either been delayed or canned.
Did you read all of today's show notes? Because that is an upcoming topic.
Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe that's where I read it. That's probably where I read it.
Probably. That's funny. Yeah, but so I mean, but if we actually get a Star Wars film, if it actually comes, that's exciting. Because there is. There's lots of other Star Wars.
I have very little faith in Kathleen Kennedy, who's in charge of the cinematic stuff.
Listen. I have very little faith in Kathleen Kennedy as a studio head. Prior to being a studio head, she was a producer, and not only, if you look at her producing credits, not only is it probably the most impressive producing credits of anyone you'll ever see, but Steven Spielberg, arguably the greatest filmmaker of all time, has said that Kathleen Kennedy is the best producer of all time. So as a producer, there's none like her. And I can see why they chose her. Like with the resume that she has, she did seem like potentially a very logical choice for running this Star Wars thing. But it turns out she's just not a studio head. That's not where her strengths are. So, but I am excited.
Yeah.
For me, the shows to me aren't actual, like, I don't look at Andor as the newest Star Wars. I look at Andor and Mandalorian and all these other things as tie-ins, as a Star Wars tie-in series.
Well, yeah, I think, to me, the Star Wars movies are all about the Skywalker lineage, and they should stay that way.
And the Skywalker saga is over now, though. So, like, no matter which film we get moving forward, that's just because
of bad writing. It shouldn't be over.
Well, I agree, I agree.
But
I agree.
But yeah, I am agreeing with your statement also. Like, yeah, the TV shows, anything that's not a movie should be extra world building and lore building around.
It's a tie-in.
Side characters.
Yeah. So either way, hopefully it happens. I'm excited. So moving on, you and I saw Black Adam last week. We talked about Black Adam last week. So if you want to listen to that review, go a-hunting, because it's there. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who is not only a baller when it comes to drawing in, like dollar for dollar, there is no greater financial Hollywood draw than Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Right.
He may not be the best actor in Hollywood, but he is the biggest star in Hollywood, and has been for several years now. If you have a movie and you want it to make money, regardless of whether it's a good movie or not, you get Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and you put him in there, and you know, people will come people will come. It's just the way it works. Black Adam has now served as Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's biggest film opening of his career. Does this surprise you? When we're talking about things like, it's Black Adam, and there was a lot of hype about it, but then since it's come out, there's also been not super great word of mouth, and I just feel like when you're comparing this to things like the Jumanji movies, installments in the Fast and the Furious franchise, like all of these big Hollywood blockbuster franchises. Now, granted, so is the DCEU, but it just, I don't know, something about this. This being his highest grossing film, biggest opening, it makes sense when I think about it, but it's still, hearing it surprised me. I was still like, oh.
I would say hearing it surprises me because of my viewing experience of Black Adam. Like, and what we talked about.
You had fun.
It's good, but it's not amazing.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's done better. Like, he's definitely done better films before he really became like an A-lister. But but yeah, he's now I guess his name is such a big draw that even if the film's just good, he makes it make more money than it should.
And you do have to wonder, and this is not a rabbit hole I want to go down, but you do have to wonder if we're talking about, like, there are maybe not, like, certainly not the majority of the audience. I guarantee you there are people who paid money, their hard-earned cash, to go see Black Adam just because they wanted to see Henry Cavill as Superman. I guarantee that. Because some people, like back in the day, back in the day before the internet, you would go to a movie, you would pay to get into a movie. Yeah, maybe not you or me, but it happened where people would pay to get into a movie, and maybe they'd stay and watch the movie, but they really weren't there for the movie. They were there because the new Indiana Jones trailer was playing at the beginning of it.
Yes.
Yeah. And that was the only, because that was the only way you could go see these trailers.
Yeah. Right.
And so I don't, considering that has happened in our cinematic past, I don't think it's far stretched to say that some people, especially on a cheap night, you drop $10 to go see a movie that you don't really care about, but you're really just there for Henry Cavill. Yeah. So it'd be interesting to know the stats on that, whether that significantly boosted those numbers for The Rock or not.
There's I read an interesting article on Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as Black Adam this week. And it was a speculative article, so they didn't have any facts other than past roles he's played and the contracts therein. So are you familiar with his role in Need for Speed, Fast and the Furious franchise, and the contract stuff that happened there with him
and Vin Diesel
and Jason Statham? About their no defeat clause in fight scenes. Their characters cannot be defeated in a fight. They either come to a draw or they win, which is ridiculous when you've got the two people that have a no defeat clause meet on screen and start fighting. Yeah. So anyway, the article was pretty interesting, saying it works for this movie because Black Adam's, the big guy that shouldn't be defeated. He's super powerful. Right. But if he meets Superman on screen in a fight, that kind of starts to break down. I mean, when it happens, it could be a problem moving forward if that's a clause exists in his contract with DC.
So here's the thing. Are you familiar with the term jobbing?
Jobbing? No.
Yeah. So if you sort of job a character, so jobbing a character would be if say you had, so they did this in the CW Supergirl show, right? So in the CW Supergirl show, Supergirl, Kara Zor-El is your main character, right? She's the one that you want to make seem powerful and awesome, and because she's your main character. So in the seasons or the episodes where they had her cousin Clark show up as Superman, he wasn't really the Superman that we know. Like he kind of needed Supergirl to save him a bunch and pull him out of sticky situations, and he was jobbing. They jobbed him. So basically, he was there. They took a character and they put a character in there for the simple purpose of making your main character or another character seem better or more powerful.
Yep.
And this is like, this example is the perfect example because we're talking about Superman. You don't job Superman.
No.
You just don't.
Yeah.
Right? You can do that with some characters. Sure. You throw villains in, you throw in weaker side, Captain Quilt or what, but you don't, the Condiment King, you don't job Superman.
Yeah. So like in Black Adam, they essentially took Dr. Fate and Hawkman and they jobbed them against.
Exactly. Yeah. So you don't, when we see our Superman Black Adam face off, there is only one right way for that fight to end. And it's not in a draw. Mm-hmm. Superman has to kick Black Adam's ass. Maybe with
the caveat of Superman
struggle.
At some point getting his butt kicked, but the end result is
with
Superman's
great struggle and how am I going to do this? And
this is the reason the article is saying this could be a problem, is because it makes a character less interesting when they're undefeatable. When every adversity they come against, they have no problem overcoming. Yeah, you end up with a Ray Palpatine.
Well, it's like it's 2006 and you're playing Grand Theft Auto 3 with cheat codes on.
It's boring,
right? You can't die. You've got unlimited bullets. You've got unlimited money.
Yeah.
It makes for it's fun script for a bit, but then you're like, well, there's no stakes here. Like this is just but either way, congratulations to The Rock.
That's cool.
I would say
it's good news for DCU.
I would say it's well deserved, not because of the quality of Black Adam specifically, but it's well deserved because of the career, because of The Rock has paid his dues. Like he's done the work to get to where he is. And so that's exciting. Moving on, something that you not so subtly alluded to. So for those of you who don't know,
on the show notes.
For those of you who don't know, Bob Chapek is the head moron over at Disney. It used to be Bob
Iger.
And Papa Iger is, if we could forget freezing Walt Disney, we need to freeze Bob Iger and let Bob Iger ran Disney through Disney's most profitable. He was there for the acquisition of Fox. He was there for the acquisition of Star Wars. He was there for the acquisition of Marvel. He was there through the glory years of Star Wars prior to that. And the man is just a genius. He was the nicest guy, and he trusted his studio heads to do their jobs and be studio heads. He didn't micromanage people. Anyways, Bob Iger retired, a well-deserved retirement. And Bob Chapek, who prior to being the head idiot over at Disney, was in charge of the parks division. So they took the guy responsible for making sure people have fun when they visit Disney World and said, you're in charge of everything. Now, I digress because that's neither here nor there. All you need to know is that Bob Chapek the wonderfully micromanaging PR bumbling Bob Chapek, is the head cheese over at the Mouse House.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Kathleen Kennedy, as we were talking before, is the head cheese at head cheese. That's gross. That's like something you make with cow brains, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. The big cheese over at Star Wars is Kathleen Kennedy. She was assigned when the acquisition happened. Obviously, George Lucas is not running the show, and so you need someone else. And so Kathleen Kennedy is the one behind the Disney era of Star Wars. Now, under Kathleen Kennedy's command, they've put out some crap. But they've also put out Rogue One. They put out The Mandalorian. They've put out Andor. They put out Solo, which was not a film that we needed or asked for, but still turned out to be a pretty damn good film.
It was all right.
So she's done a lot of... There's been a lot of crap, but there's also been some pretty major wins.
Yeah,
come out of.
I think you can take some credit away from her on some of the TV wins, though, because Dave Filoni is more kind of geared in charge of that stuff. And
yeah, I mean, she's still overseeing it, though. Like Dave Filoni still answers to Kathleen Kennedy.
Yeah, but I don't think she's be able to push him around as much as she does with maybe the directors on some of those other shows.
Yeah, well. It's hard to say. So anyways, in the time that we've had Star Wars under Disney, we've had a number of films announced. Patty Jenkins' Rogue Squadron movie, which they say is still happening, but has been evidently backburnered.
Yeah, delayed.
Rian Johnson is and so is Star Wars, is very insistent that Rian Johnson's trilogy is still happening.
Oh God, I hope not.
Where is it? No, see, I would be okay with it as long as it's a trilogy of one person's vision not why.
I don't trust him. After I would not trust him to make something for Star Wars.
Well, after what Rian Johnson did with Knives Out and the incredible franchise that he's turning that into, I trust the guy. I think there was just a lot.
Give him Knives Out. Don't let him near Star Wars.
Anyway, so apparently that's still happening. We don't see it. It was announced forever ago that there's a Taika Waititi Star Wars movie. We haven't really heard anything about that in a while. It seems like projects just keep getting announced, and then years pass and we hear nothing. There's just crickets over at Star Wars. And it's gotten so bad that Bob Chapek and the execs at Disney have reached out to Kathleen Kennedy and the execs at Star Wars and said, hey, stop announcing movies. You look stupid. You're making us look stupid.
Yeah.
Unless you are in production and ready to, that this is how you have your director hired, you have your writers hired, you've got your casting, you've got a script, you're like this thing. Well, you don't even need to have a script, but the writing needs to be in the process. You need to have, the casting process needs to have begun. You need to be well into pre-production before you announce stuff. Because right now it seems like you're just, oh, I've got an idea. Oh, shit. Okay, yeah, that's a great idea. Let's announce that tomorrow. Let's tell everyone about this great idea tomorrow. And so then they do. And then one thing leads to another and the film doesn't get made, as happens with many ideas. And the fans are left here sitting going, oh, weren't there like 7 Star Wars films that were like What's going on here? So I think this is a bold move, but I also think it's the right move, and it's super necessary. Carl, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, don't start a hype train that's going nowhere. Unless it's actually going to leave the station, why announce anything?
Yeah. Like, you're a parent, right? And
last time I checked,
what would the fallout be on you if you teased and suggested and made it seem very apparent that after dinner, we're going to go for a bike ride and get ice cream? And then after dinner comes and you're like, I don't know, it was just a thought I had, but I opened my mouth and told you about it anyways to your children. and then decided you weren't going to do it. How popular would you be in your house?
Do you know how much my child loves ice cream?
Right? See?
I would never hear the end of that.
No, you'd be crucified over this. So I 100%. I think you put it perfectly. Don't start a hype train that isn't going anywhere. If you're not going to put fuel into that hype train and turn it into something, then stop. Mm-hmm. We're sick of it.
Yeah.
Speaking of hype trains, Christmas is coming.
I like Christmas.
Yeah, we're November now, which you got to be careful. You got to be careful because Remembrance Day has
Thanksgiving.
Well, Remembrance Day hasn't happened.
Remembrance Day,
and people get really upset. But the radio stations don't seem to care because they play music anyways.
Neither
and
do
Walmart
the stores.
Walmart doesn't care because all their shit's been out since June, and and along with Christmas comes the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special, our second special presentation that we've gotten from Disney following Werewolf by Night. And not only is it coming, but we got a trailer that shows the Guardians kind of banding together. You know, Peter's upset. Peter's an Earthling. And Peter's, it's Christmas time. He's always a little blue being away from home and all this stuff, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me because Peter hasn't actually lived on Earth since he was a small boy. And that didn't seem like a super happy time for him either.
My takeaway from it was that he wasn't blue because it's Christmas. He normally enjoys Christmas. And this time, for some reason, he is blue, and the Guardians don't know why.
Well, he's blue because Gamora, he doesn't know
going to be the assumption. Yeah.
And so the Guardians decide that they're going to cheer him up, and they're going to go to Earth, and they're going to find some Earth-esque things to remind him from home, and see if they can't turn his Christmas around for him.
Not just Earth-esque things.
Yeah, well,
Kevin Bacon-esque things.
Yeah, so then they're like, well, let's his
favoriteest thing.
What's the best thing we can get for him? Because Star-Lord really likes Footloose. He talks about Footloose.
Yeah.
And so let's get Kevin Bacon. And so the trailer shows breaking through Kevin Bacon's wall. And
B&E
kidnapping him or attempting to kidnap him. Listen, this trailer, this is something that has been on my radar, not in a negative way, but I've been like, oh, okay. So like a holiday special. When are holiday specials ever great? Right? Maybe they're good, but it's not going to be great. This is not going to be like a real standout MCU thing. And then I sat down and I watched the trailer, and I think just a combination of seeing Mantis and Rocket and Drax on Earth in Times Square, interacting with locations that we're not used to seeing them, like non-cosmic locations. And then the whole Kevin Bacon thing, which at first I was like, what? This is like, oh, that's kind of funny. And then I viscerally laughed out loud.
Yeah.
When it's, starring Star-Lord and starring Mantis and starring Drax and starring all these people, and introducing Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, this is amazing because it's so, I mean, you don't need to introduce Kevin Bacon, but and then I stopped and thought about it and I was like, well, this is bigger than just a joke, because you can never have Kevin Bacon
as
a character in the MCU,
unless he's voicing them or heavily makeup.
Oh yeah, because you have now established that Kevin Bacon is a character in the MCU. He's a person. He exists in the MCU, right? Because if you think about it, Mark Ruffalo doesn't exist in the MCU, in the 616 world, right? Robert Downey Jr. doesn't exist. Like, all these actors don't exist, but Kevin Bacon does, and it's so funny. I'm so looking forward to this now. It's done. You know, the purpose of a trailer is to take your excitement level for a project and bump it up. And if that is the metric that we are measuring trailers by, this was a great trailer, because it took my excitement level, which was arguably pretty, I wasn't like dreading it. I was always going to watch it, but I wasn't like, I didn't really care. It wasn't something that I was, it wasn't
on my radar.
I didn't have my sights set on it by any means. And now I can't wait. Yeah. Now I cannot wait. You saw the trailer, Carl. What did you think?
Well, yeah, it wasn't on my radar at all. I watched the trailer. It was fun. It was funny. It perked my little nerd ears up and ooh, this looks like fun. And yeah, it's definitely on something I'll watch for sure now. I mean, we're gonna probably end up watching it for this show, but and reviewing it. But I mean, like, outside of it, I probably would have really been looking forward to it at this point too.
Yeah.
It looks great. Yeah. It looks hilarious. I'm sure it'll be, if Werewolf by Night is the stepping stone for future specials, quote unquote.
Yeah, these little standalone projects.
Then it's set not a high. I wouldn't say it's set like an impossible bar, but it's set a pretty high-ish bar. But it's not unattainable, and more specials like that look to be very promising. And this trailer kind of continues in that vein. The Werewolf by Night trailer was very interesting. This one is very interesting. Yeah, I think I got high hopes for it.
You know what I think these special presentations open the door to? I think they're the perfect answer to, hey, look, we've got a bunch of characters that aren't big enough to do a movie around. They're not really big enough to give a series to. We don't really have a big story to tell with them, but we think it would just be fun to throw them, it won't cost us very much to throw this up on the screen for the fans, and tell a quick hour and a half long story about this character. And I think that these special presentations are the answer to that query.
Yeah, agreed. It's we haven't done it yet, but we're going to be reviewing this Jedi Tales, the new Star Wars Jedi Tales, and these specials have the opportunity to be similar to that show, where it's just a quick little quick story. It's got nothing really to do with the main storyline or anything, but it's just like, here's a little fun story about this character about like someone like say Darcy from WandaVision and from Thor.
Yeah,
right?
Give her a story.
Yeah, like, why not? She's a funny character.
There's some
FBI meat on the bone there that you could chew on. Her running into other superheroes. They're also kind of like another great kind of parallel to what these specials could be like. There's the I forget. I don't know what their official name was, but the Coulson minis.
Oh, the one-shots.
Yeah, they're like Coulson en route to check out the hammer, and Coulson, like those were like little 5-minute shorts, but like those would have been just as fun if you drew them out to an hour long.
Yeah, absolutely, and yeah, that's exactly what they can start to do now with this type of thing. So, okay, well, so speaking about James Gunn. James Gunn being the director of the Guardians of the Galaxy series. Yeah. Listen, so something you and I have talked about the DCEU quite a bit lately.
Yep.
And specifically talked about what's working over there, what isn't working over there. And it's interesting. It's interesting because, it's interesting because if for me, like the MCU puts out a lot more content than the DCEU for sure. But I think ratio wise, like if you were to stop and look at what Marvel's done, the last 5 projects from Marvel, and you look at the last 4 or 5 projects from DCE, from not necessarily the DCEU, but DC under Warner Brothers. I think Warner Brothers is actually doing a better job right now. I think DC is actually doing a better job. We have the Batman, which you haven't seen yet. Then you've got things like Joker, Suicide Squad, the Peacemaker series, which was like huge. It was a huge TV show ratings wise. Doom Patrol, like there's been some duds for sure. And Marvel's had a lot more wins, but as Marvel is like vomiting out content. Anyways, one of the things that we've been talking about is the leadership and the writing and stuff like that over at Warner Brothers, at DC. And for the longest time, these DC films were coming out strictly under Warner Brothers. See, over at Disney, you have Disney, which is like the parent company. And they have Disney Studios and animation studios, and Star Wars is a studio, and Pixar is a studio, and so on and so forth. And Marvel is a studio with a studio head. His
overseeing everything.
His Royal Majesty Kevin Feige.
Yeah.
For the longest time, DC wasn't its own studio. They were just releasing DC property films under Warner Brothers. Well, that's changed recently. There's been a lot of changes over at Warner Brothers. There was an acquisition. There was there was some firings. There was new people in charge taking over, so on and so forth. And I think that I'm so excited about the trajectory that Warner Brothers as a company is on right now. And that's, I can't wait for what's coming. But one of the things they did was make DC its own studio. Well, what does every studio need?
Ice cream.
A studio head.
Oh, yeah, that too.
So the question became for a while now, who is going to be DC's Kevin Feige? Who do you put in charge that can oversee the story as a whole?
Dwayne Johnson.
Isn't necessarily making these films, isn't directing them himself, but is in a position where he's making sure that the vision forward is clear and that none of the movies are contradicting each other. They're not killing off people that we have plans for, and just sort of being the figure of the studio. Yeah.
Giving a clear focus to the future.
Yeah. Well, I would tell you that DC has hired a studio head, but that wouldn't be 100% true, because DC has hired 2. We have Peter Safran, who is one of the producers behind my favorite horror genre franchise in the Conjuring series. And you have one James Gunn. So James Gunn is obviously busy right now wrapping up Guardians of the Galaxy 3. But as of today, November 1st, that's when this everything gets set in stone and they take over and start sitting in their big chairs over at Warner Brothers. So as of today, November 1st, James Gunn and Peter Safran are now the studio heads at DC. This is incredible news. It's so exciting. James Gunn is it sounds cliche to say visionary, but he is. I mean, you look at Guardians of the Galaxy, you look at his newest Suicide Squad film, which did horribly at the box office, but I thought was an amazing movie. I had so much fun with Suicide Squad. I think this is a fantastic move. I think this makes all kinds of sense. The studio needs direction. It needs leadership. It needs someone there to be able to handle things like the Ezra Miller situation and to be able to say, okay, no, we're not making that movie. Yes, we're making this movie. No, that's not what we're having our characters do. Let's steer this ship in one kind of coherent direction. And I think James Gunn is an excellent choice. Carl, you heard about this. What are your thoughts?
I think it's a good decision. I mean, having one kind of clear vision from the top down in kind of this capacity is obviously important, as we can see from the MCU and the prior DC compared to the prior DC franchise that you've mentioned, which isn't cohesive, where the Marvel movies are very kind of tied together and cohesive. I think it's a great idea. My one, and I don't know that much about how this would work, but I feel like maybe having two top dogs might cause some friction or some problems. I guess it depends on how they divide duties and how they make those decisions, and it's not impossible for people to work together. But at the same time, it all
depends on what their dynamic is.
If they have clashing vision about what they want to do with a certain character or a certain storyline, you could have some problems.
Yeah, it depends on their chemistry, right? Like you have look at you would go, you look at one of the biggest films ever made in Avengers Endgame.
Yeah.
That had two directors.
Yeah.
And yes, they're brothers, but that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
You have two brothers. You know that just because you're brothers doesn't mean you agree and you see eye to eye on stuff.
Yeah.
Right. So it's hard to say.
I'm not saying it won't work or it can't work. I'm just saying you create more opportunity for problems.
Sure. Yeah, one person wants to do something. By
having two people making decisions,
you can't veto the other guy. Like,
yeah.
So,
but it's not like, depending on how they work together and how they make decisions, this could be just as beneficial as it could be detrimental.
Yeah.
But I mean, you even with one person at the top, you could still end up like Marvel could have been a complete mess if Kevin Feige decided to make different decisions. So
for sure.
It goes both ways. But I don't overall I don't see it as a negative.
Moving on to a piece of movie news that Pete is going to be sad he wasn't here for. Pete and I have talked ad nauseum about our love for a little franchise called National Treasure. A franchise that we have long been waiting for a third installment of.
Mm-hmm.
And every so often, there's rumors, someone does an interview, and a director or Nicolas Cage says, yeah, they're working on this script. Disney's not quite happy with it yet. They're doing some rewrites, or blah, 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 and nothing. Nothing has ever come. And that's especially disappointing because the second one ends with such a cliffhanger. Like the second one just sets this up for, the president says to Nicolas Cage, did you get a chance to take a look at that page I asked you to from the President's Secret Book?" And Nicolas Cage says, "Actually, yes, I did look at it." And the president says, "And Ben Gates says, like Nicolas Cage says, very interesting." And then they kind of like walk off together and they start chatting about it. And you're like, "Ooh, like, what is it? Tell me more." And we've never gotten that, but we are getting a National Treasure show on Disney Plus coming out this Christmas. December 14th it drops. Not starring Nicolas Cage, not focused on Nicolas Cage's character, Ben Gates, but his sidekick, Riley, is in this series. So that confirms to us, okay, this is in the same continuity. It's the same universe. And I said to Pete, and maybe I've even said it here, I fully acknowledge that this show deserves to be and should be its own thing. But I really, really hope that it's just building up towards a Nick Cage cameo in the series season finale, and them announcing and setting up National Treasure 3. Well, something that gives a little bit of credibility to my wishful thinking is that there are reports that Nicolas Cage is in fact in talks for National Treasure 3. Now, there's a couple of things here to take into consideration. One is that these are reports. It's not confirmed. Two, it's also quite possible that if this is legitimate, that right now we think that he's in talks. But really that means he signed a deal 3 months ago. And they're working on whatever they need to do to get him ready to go shoot this, or they've got the script going, or whatever it is. I have said time and time again, I don't think. Do I mean this? I think I mean this. I don't think there is a film, especially now that I already know I'm getting Michael Keaton as Batman. I already got Toby and Andrew back as Spider-Man. Maybe with the exception of a third Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movie. I don't think there is a film that they could come out and announce tomorrow that would get me as excited, that would make me as happy and giddy and hate the fact that I had to wait for it to come out than Nicolas Cage in a National Treasure 3. I want it so bad.
What about Titanic 2, The Rising?
No, they already did that. They did that in the 80s.
They raised it up.
Yeah, there's it's not the same continuity. It came out even before James Cameron's, but yeah. So what are your thoughts on this? You saw this, that Nicolas Cage might be in talks to return to arguably one of his most beloved characters and roles, certainly among our generation. Yeah. So what are your thoughts? Is this something you want?
I like Nicolas Cage. I like National Treasure. I think it'll be, yeah. If, man, I feel like, especially these days with a lot of these kind of reboots and returning to franchises years down the line, and some of them being good and some of them not being good, it's kind of like you always got to throw that caveat, like, I hope it's good, fingers crossed. Yeah. So yeah, but
how could it not
be? I love me some Nick Cage, man. So sign me up.
It just doesn't it feel like this is a film that we need right now. We need just a good, like the world needs a good treasure hunting, action adventure, history lesson, funny, romantic, adventurous film.
Yeah. We don't get like those are because these came out around the same time or not too long after the Mummy movies, did they not?
A little bit after,
which
not
kind of had
after.
a similar kind of feel, like that treasure hunty action. Yeah. Man.
It's so good, man. It's so good. Moving on to our second last topic. Are you ready?
Bring it.
You ready for this? Sticking with the MCU, so WandaVision, which to date, I think is the best MCU show we've gotten. WandaVision was so damn good. At the end of, and I'm going to spoil WandaVision for you because you've had 2 years now to watch it. So if you haven't, Vision, who died in Endgame, and sort of kind of half comes back, not really, because Wanda's like projecting an imaginary version of him. So we get to see Vision throughout, played by the wonderful Paul Bettany.
Yep.
But the government division Sword is also in the process of, like, they've built Vision's body, but White Vision,
they've remade him.
They've remade him, but he's lacking the he's just he's not a real boy. He's not a real wooden. He's just a wooden boy at this point. He doesn't have the memories.
Even a wooden boy. He's a wooden puppet.
Yeah, he doesn't have the memories. He doesn't have the consciousness.
He's got the self-aware AI, but he's pretty much just following orders.
Yeah, he's missing whatever the combination of Jarvis and the Mind Stone gave Vision.
The soul. He's lacking that heart and soul. Yeah.
Anyways, all that aside, I thought for sure. So WandaVision ends with White Vision kind of floating out off under the shot to go on a quest, you could say, to figure out, who am I, and what are my politics, and do I like sushi? Like, just answer the questions that need to be answered.
Am I the ship of Theseus?
Yeah, a lot of people thought, myself included, and I think rightfully so, that we may have seen Vision show up in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Given the story, what?
He showed up. He didn't. What?
No, I'm saying we thought that he might show up.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. No, he did. He definitely didn't show up. But that was a theory, and I think rightfully so. It was a pretty fair, safe thing to assume that Vision was probably going to show up at some point. It's about Wanda and her kids and like all this stuff, and what was the other thing that she's like, aside from her kids, what has she been the most bent out of shape, crazy, I'll do anything and burn the whole world to the ground for? That would be Vision, right?
Yeah.
And so, but we don't get him. He doesn't show up, not even in a post-credit scene. That's fine. Because it has been announced that we are getting Vision Quest. Vision, Paul Bettany as White Vision, will be getting his own Disney Plus series. I believe coming out, at this point, it'll either be the end of 2023 or sometime in 2024. These things take time. It's not like we're not Star Wars here. We can't announce something and then deliver it the very next day.
Yeah.
But, I'm excited. Listen, Paul Bettany is an incredible actor. I like him in, everything I've seen him in. He's in, what is he in? He's in the Da Vinci Code. He's in Firewall. Have you ever seen Firewall? You would like Firewall.
Not seen Firewall.
Harrison Ford, Paul Bettany. It's like a good old fashioned. It feels like a Tom Clancy property almost. Yeah. It's got that,
He's way back. He was in A Knight's Tale.
Yeah, in Knight's Tale. Yeah,
one of his starting roles.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken.
So love him, love his voice, love his acting. Yeah, and I think it's time to give him. I think this is good. I think there's so much story left to tell with Vision. And I think that Paul Bettany is an actor who deserves to be at the center of his own project. And so, yeah, Vision Quest. I mean, at this point, even the bad stuff that we get from Marvel, I'm always excited when I first hear about it. There's nothing you could announce tomorrow and be like, oh, we're going to do such and such. And I'd be like, what? No, I'm always like, oh, wow, okay. It's Kevin Feige. He must have some kind of plan. And so that's how I feel about this. I mean, I'm on board.
I think I agree with you in all aspects. Like, and especially with Vision's kind of story arc where his character's at, this is the perfect opportunity to give him a standalone story. To give him something where he is the center of the story, because he's off on his own. He's hunting. He's on a kind of a self-fulfilling journey now.
Right.
So it's definitely like the perfect time to do that. And like you said, Paul Bettany, there's no reason not to give him the lead role in something.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for everything these days. It's a wonderful, like...
What a great time to be alive.
It's so good to be alive. Oh, my goodness. Hardly anybody has rickets. Like... Yeah. So good. Last topic. All right, Henry Cavill.
Love him.
The Man of Steel.
Indeed.
The Last Son of Krypton.
Indeed.
Clark Kent.
Yes, this is all the same role.
the man from U.N.C.L.E.
Yep.
That guy with a mustache from that Mission Impossible movie.
The arm pump in the washroom. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun scene.
Geralt of Rivia.
Get out of the White Wolf.
Or at least he was.
Yes.
We should introduce all of our topics this dramatically.
Yeah. Just really build them up.
Yeah. It's going to take some writing and some practicing, but it was amazing. So Henry Cavill, who obviously is not only Superman, but he's been playing Geralt of Rivia in Netflix's Witcher series.
Mm-hmm. Killing it too.
Yeah. And he killed it in the first season. And he killed it in the second season. And then they were like, okay, time for the third season. And Henry Cavill was like, nah.
All right. I'll do another one.
Yeah. And he did another one. But that's it. He's done.
Yep. He's officially passing the reins.
Yeah.
To Thor's brother.
Yeah, so there's either going to be no season 4 of The Witcher, or there will be a season 4 and they will recast him, or they'll come begging and pleading and offering cash and begging and pleading and offering some more cash. And
they've already recast him.
Have they?
Yeah, it's Liam Hemsworth.
Oh,
yeah, it was when it was announced via Twitter from Liam Hemsworth and from Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill saying, "I'm done this role. I'm going to pass it off to Liam. Liam, have fun with it." And Liam's like, "Hey, I'm looking forward to this. Love the character. Looking forward to it."
I think
so. Liam Hemsworth will be the White Wolf for season 4.
I think this could work for 2 reasons. One, Liam Hemsworth is a good actor. And 2, when you are playing a character who is in that much makeup and a wig and altering your voice, and like, yes, you'll be able to tell it's someone different, but the look is going to, I would imagine, is going to be very similar.
Well, I mean, you get the hair and
the eyes,
everything. Like, yeah, like he will look similar. He will look like he's obviously going to look different than Henry Cavill.
Yeah,
they don't look
gonna have
the
the
same
chiseled
at all.
Chin and the
but
But yeah, like once you put the cat's eyes in and the hair, and he does the voice, and I think this works. I respect Henry Cavill's decision to leave. We don't know for sure why he's leaving.
Lots of theories floating around.
Lots of theories. I think that it might have some stuff to do with the fact that it looks like they're going balls to the wall with Superman moving forward. You speculated.
He's also rumored to be one of the lead choices for the next 007.
I know, and I want that so bad, but I don't think they will now. I think the Superman stuff, I think that blows any possibility of that happening out of the picture. Yeah, not happening. I'm still voting for Tom Hardy. I want Tom Hardy to be the next 007. That'd be cool. But yeah, you speculated that it could be that Henry wasn't super thrilled with the direction the show was going in, some of the writing, some of the way that they were handling source material.
Yeah, so Henry Cavill is unabashedly a nerd. Is that the right word? Abashedly?
Oh yeah, like the man builds.
He's unashamed of being a nerd. He's like, the dude plays and paints Warhammer, which is a bunch of old miniatures.
I've watched videos of him like building gaming PCs.
He's about as nerdy as you can get. And so when he says, I'm a fan of this nerdy property of The Witcher, there's no stretch of going, oh no, he just started reading them for the part and became a fan recently. No, he more than likely has read all the books and played all the games long before he was ever offered the role.
Oh, I assume so. He knows his character inside and out.
Yeah. So, yeah. And I as all this news has come out about this kind of trade-off of the character to Liam Hemsworth, there was an article I read kind of around this swirl of news about one of the main writers who's no longer with the show after the second season, talking about how there's several people on the writing team who completely outright don't like the books and they don't like the games. And that's one of the reasons it's such a departure from books and games in terms of the storyline of the show. And so, if you got a fan of the original content being your actor for the lead, he's going to be pushing for that character to be portrayed properly. And if they keep pushing for him not to be portrayed the way the book original source material is, well, it doesn't take a stretch for him to eventually go, okay, I can't do this anymore. It doesn't represent the character. It doesn't represent what I believe should be represented.
Yeah. I heard someone online talking about this, about the writers that aren't fans of the original source material. And they said something really interesting that I think carries a lot of weight, which was, so they were asked, is it important that creatives behind a project are fans of the source material? So if you're making a Star Wars movie, is it crucial that you are a Star Wars fan? And from objectively, and you don't have to like this, you don't have to agree with it. I think there's a lot of really, really wonderful things that come, and it certainly doesn't hurt. It certainly doesn't hurt to be a fan. But from a technical, actually just making a project, you need to understand the source material, and you need to be able to do something entertaining and good with the source material. But the objective answer to, is it crucial? Is it necessary to be a fan of The Witcher books or games to write a Witcher show? No, it certainly doesn't hurt. And it probably helps in a great many ways. But is it crucial to be a fan? It's not. Like
I would say it's not crucial.
No,
but at the same time, you need to. I think even if you're not a fan, you need to not dislike it.
Right.
And the article I was reading said that some of the writers just downright don't like.
Yeah. So what the guy I was listening to online said was, is it crucial to be a fan? No. However, it's also crucial to not be an asshole. He said the problem that was coming out of, like, if you read the reports of the stuff that was going on behind the scenes at The Witcher, it has nothing to do with them not being fans of the source material, and has everything to do with them being assholes.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. They were the creatives on the show, a select group of writers on the show who weren't fans of the source material. That's fine. You don't have to be, but you're not allowed to be a dick. And apparently they didn't get the memo.
You don't have to like the source material, but at least show it some respect.
Well, and show that you understand it, and that you
respect it,
for sure.
Honor, and we've talked about this with other properties.
Yeah.
But with movies, about about them not following source material as closely as they should.
Right.
And how the larger viewing audience isn't necessarily a fan or a diehard fan. But at the same time,
well, by definition,
why do you want to piss those people off? Those are the people who are going to root for your movie more than anybody else. They're the ones that are going to, if done right, they're the ones that are going to buy 2-3 tickets to the movie. They're the ones that are going to buy it on DVD, even though nobody buys DVDs or Blu-rays anymore. They're the ones that are going to buy the merchandise.
Yeah.
Right? So your casual viewing audience who goes to see the movie once because it's a well-made movie, whether it follows source material or not, they're not the ones that are really going to bring in your money, right? The money to most, especially superhero movies, is all in the merchandise, and fans buy merchandise.
Yeah. The financial workings of the movie industry is a much more complicated thing than we have time to delve into, or that either of us fully
regardless,
understand.
I think we're on the same page here, right? Like,
I think so.
If you're gonna,
for the most
vary
part,
from the source material, at least pay it respects and homage.
Absolutely.
Don't.
All right, everyone. That is the news for this week, and that's what we think of the move. That's what we think of the news for this week. But that's not what's important. What's important is what you think about the news this week. So we want, in the comments below, wherever you are listening to this, reach out to us and let us know your thoughts. Are there any news things today that get you really excited? Are there any opinions that we had today that you think is a clear indication that we are out to lunch? Let us know. We like hearing from you. And the moviemenpodcast@gmail.com. If there's something that pops up through the week and you're like, hey, I heard this bit of movie news and I think this is worthy, they need to talk about this, send it to us, and there's a chance that we will. Mm-hmm. There's no guarantees. There's no guarantees in life, Timmy. Get over it.
That's too bad.
Yeah. But thank you for listening. Check all the links below: our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Patreon, our merch page. You can't go wrong with any of those. All of those are like, if you're looking for a good time, they're all solid options.
Yeah. And they're all great ways to support the Movie Men.
Have you at some point been to all of the websites, Carl?
No, because I don't use all those social medias.
What?
But for what social medias I do,
what?
I have.
What? Yeah, okay. And did you have a good time on the ones that you did?
Yes.
You read that just like I wrote it. That's great. Thank you.
Yes. Sign me up for that, Oscar.